Hi everyone, welcome back to Alice on the Giant Bookshelf. Today's video is the 1001 book tag. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Alice and I have way too many books, and that's sort of what today's video is all about. This is the 1001 book tag, which was created by Sandy over at Ms Reads a Lot, which I have to say is one of my favourite booktube channels. I love watching Sandy's channel because she is attempting to read the 1001 books you must read before you die. I really enjoy following her list, her countdown of what she's reading. So Sandy has created this tag for us, and it's all about 1001 things, and it's been inspired by her 1001 books countdown. Prompt number 1 is 1001 lists. Do you follow any book lists? It can be a prize list or a challenge like the Rory Gilmore challenge. I don't really at the moment, but next year for one of my reading targets for 2022, I have already decided that I would like to read some of the 100 greatest books. The list I found was the Penguin 100 greatest books, and I haven't read lots of books off this list, although I have read a few, but that's for another video. That is a list that I am going to be following soon. I also do have a couple of lists that I've made myself. One list came from a book that I read called The Rough Guide to Crime, or The Rough Guide to Crime Fiction even. This book gave me a lot of recommendations for crime authors that I wanted to try, and I made a very long list of several pages of all the books that I wanted to read from this guidebook. Over the years I have been working away at that. I have looked out for the books on the list and I have read some of them. So that is a list that I follow that I kind of made up myself. I do enjoy a list, and of course there is also the list that I've made myself of my giant physical TBR, which is currently standing somewhere in the 190s. So still lots to get through on that list. Prompt number 2 is 1001 books. Approximately how many physical books do you currently own? And how many ebooks? I don't read ebooks, I don't have an e-reader, so that one's quite straightforward. I don't have any. I think I might have one that is downloaded into my phone that I've been supposedly currently reading for years. I did download a Sophie Hannah book, so maybe two ebooks owned, but that's not something I plan to add to. I think I've got around about 61 books in my Audible library, lots of which I've listened to. Physical books is a very difficult question. I tried to have a bit of a count up this morning of the books in my house that are on my shelves, and there was at least 700, maybe more, and I know I've got books in boxes in the garage, I've got books in boxes in the loft, and I've also got quite a few boxes of children's books from my teaching career and from my childhood. So I've got at least 1001 books in my house, and yeah, that's something that my husband does worry about. Our house is pretty full of books. So yes, lots and lots of books. I don't dare count every single one. Maybe one day I will. So the next question is 1001 books read. Approximately how many books have you read in your lifetime, and do you keep track? I do keep track. I've been keeping at least a list of books since the year 2000, and since about 2007 I've been keeping a whole book of books that tells me what I've read and a bit about it sometimes. So yeah, I've been keeping lists for quite a while. My Goodreads, I think, has got most of the books that I've read from 2000 onwards, because I've added them retrospectively, and that says that I have read 1049 books. But in my lifetime, I would say it's a lot more than that. I haven't added any of the children's books that I used to read with children on a regular basis, or that I read in my childhood. Any books that were read to me as a child, I haven't put on there. I do wish I had a list of every book I've ever read. That would be amazing. I should have started keeping track sooner, but I have been keeping track for 21 years now, so hopefully we've got a good idea of what I have read. The next prompt is 1001 Arabian Nights. Have you read any stories from the Arabian Nights? Do you have a favourite? And if you haven't read it, do you want to? I haven't actually read any stories from 1001 Arabian Nights. While I was still working as a teacher, there was a school play done in my school of the 1001 Arabian Nights, and so I heard some of the stories through that, and it was a good little play. I would definitely like to read some of the tales for myself one day. Harry's actually sitting in front of the prompts today. I don't think he's on screen, but he's not very pleased because I've stopped him from laying down on my laptop and breaking it, so he's not very happy at the moment, are you, Harry? Not very happy. But can I please see my prompts? Let me take the prompts. Right, I have to hold the prompts. 1001 Flavours. Do you have a favourite food or flavour? I am very much a savoury person. I don't really have that much of a sweet tooth, although I am partial to chocolate, which I'm not really eating much of at the moment. I'm definitely a person who craves savoury food. I absolutely love spicy food. I love curries, I love tacos and Mexican food, chili con carnes. Oh, just all spicy food really. But as Sandy said in her video, nothing really beats pizza. Pizza is my absolute probably top favourite food, apart from maybe potatoes, which I'm also not allowed very many of on my low potassium diet, but if I was allowed them, I would eat potatoes in all their forms all the time. But yeah, spicy things and pizza, definitely top favourites. And salt and vinegar crisps, very, very, very yummy. 1001 pages. Have you read a book that is over 1001 pages? And is there one that you recommend and is worth the time? What's the longest book you have read? So now I've just checked the longest book that I've read for length, and sadly it didn't quite reach 1001 pages, and it was Bleak House. In my copy here, Bleak House by Charles Dickens has 941 pages, so I've just missed out. But yeah, this is the biggest book I've ever read. I really enjoyed it. I read it a lot of years ago before I was really into reading classics, but I definitely loved it, and there are certainly strands of this storyline that are really, really good. There's a good mystery about it. There's an early example of a detective, Inspector Bucket, and yeah, highly recommend Bleak House to those of you who've not read it yet. At the moment I'm reading Our Mutual Friend, but I don't actually have a paper copy of that as I'm listening to it on audio, so I'm not sure if that would exceed the 1001 pages mark either. Oh, I do have a book that technically with its notes is over 1,000 pages, and that's Don Quixote, but as you know, I'm still working on this one. 1001 buckets. Do you have a non-bookish bucket list? And what is one thing on that list? I don't really have a bucket list. However, I think just after I turned 30, I made a list of things I would like to achieve before I'm 40. And I have achieved some of the things and ticked them off, but it's definitely slowed down in recent times. I know one of the things on that list is to see a play at Shakespeare's Globe. I would still really like to do that before I'm 40. And one other bookish related thing that is on the list is to visit Hay-on-Wye, which is a town full of bookshops, and I've never been there. So that's another one I would like to achieve before I'm 40. Not many years to go now, so I'd better get on with them. 1001 numbers. Do you have a lucky number? Is there a story behind it? My favourite number and my lucky number is number 15. I don't really have a reason for it, I just really like the number. I love the number 5, and I love the way that 15 is 3 5s. I don't know why I love that fact, but yeah, I love odd numbers, and 15 is my favourite odd number. Hasn't necessarily proved particularly lucky, but I like to think it is my lucky number anyway. 1001 authors. Do you have a favourite author and or genre? I think everybody who's been watching my channel for a little while will know who I'm going to say for my favourite author, and that is of course Agatha Christie. So Agatha Christie has been my favourite author for a long time. My favourite genre is 100% crime and mystery books, and they've been my favourite for years now. My favourite author, definitely Agatha Christie. Absolutely love Agatha Christie's books. I've read all of her mysteries and thrillers now, and so I don't have very much left to read. But yeah, I love rereading them, and even though they are mysteries and therefore some of the mystery has gone away on a reread, Still love them, and I'm sure I will continue to do so. So the next question was a question from Sandy, 1001 book clubs. Should I start a book club with a book a month for a read along? Yes please Sandy, I would love you to start this book club. It would probably push me to read some books that are on your list, maybe that are on my list as well, and it might even push me to read some classics that I wouldn't probably consider otherwise reading. So if you do the book club, Sandy, I would love to join. And the final prompt is 10 plus 1 friends. Tag some friends. So I have thought of 10 plus 1 friends to tag, and they're nearly all channels that have tagged me before, or channels that I've been enjoying watching lately. So here we go with my 10 plus 1 tags. So I'd like to tag Nikki over at Red Dot Reads. I'd like to tag Alicia at Alicia Reads and Rambles. I'd like to tag Emily at Novelle Novels, Becky at Teacup the Storyteller, Gemma at Gem of Books, Berna at Berna's Bookish Adventures, Katrina at Katrina Reads, Jennifer at Jennifer Loves Books, Mason at Mason in the Dark, who recently tagged me in a tag video that was really an interesting tag, and been really enjoying Mason's content lately. I'd like to tag Art at Bookshelf Odyssey, and I'd like to tag Julie at The Hungry Bookworm. Hopefully not all of those people have been tagged before, although I'm sure some of them have. If you have already done this tag, do let me know in the comments down below so that I can go and watch it. Thank you Sandy for tagging me in your original tag, it was great fun. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. So that's all for today, thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon in another video all about books here on Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Bye for now.